I'm also curious about sometimes I meet student in the program where they were like, oh, I need to choose a topic. And sometimes student are in a hurry.
Mhm.
Like this is like, I'm in maybe second year. I don't know what I want to study. They were stressed. I want to know your journey of like how your maybe your personal experience, professional experience sort of shaped the topic that you choose for
Mhm.
your dissertation study and how that process looks like for you.
Sure. So when I first started the program, I had two problems of practice, if you will,
Hmm.
that I wanted to really learn more about. And both of them were because, as I think with many of us in our journey, we want to research something that's valuable and important to us. And so for me, I was kind of leaning in two directions when I first started even applying to the program. What would I know I'll have to write a dissertation. What will I even research? And when I found out that the UNF program, you, and I don't know if it had always been that way or it sounded like the program had kind of shifted to where you kind of are attached to your topic loosely throughout the whole time.
Right.
And so that you can be doing some research and at least gathering articles and background for obviously what became chapter two along the way so that there wasn't, for lack of a better term, wasted time in some certain semesters that you
Hmm.
weren't using for valuable research of things that you could use for your dissertation. So it was honestly really difficult. It was in my first semester. I kept going back and forth. I wanted to do something with grading. I'm very passionate in the K-12 world,
Yeah,
primarily
assessment
secondary.
process and all that.
Yes, with grading and assessments,
Hmm.
and kind of systemically, but also even just locally within my own school district and my own schools and my own experiences with families. And I just think that there's a lot of work still to be done in public education and grading systems. I think we still have some archaic policies. Traditional grading is kind of,
Hmm.
there's just so much more out there. And I wanted to do something with that. But then at the same time, I started in 2021, which was also the time of what we now call the Great
COVID.
Resignation.
Yeah.
Yes, as a result of COVID. And we were losing teachers in droves in our profession. And as a school administrator, I navigate that daily almost. And so I think I just wanted to know more. I wanted to know I learned that it's not the first time we've been here as,
Hmm.
a system of profession, but we are in our current version of a shortage of teachers. There have been shortages over, throughout history,
Yeah, but
but we are in a teacher shortage. And I just couldn't wrap my head around why I loved teaching so much and I loved the classroom so much. I wanted to know what was changing that
yeah, that.
others and people that I would consider like myself even were not
Hmm.
staying and teaching. And so, and then that opened up different layers and of colleges of ed. I honestly also thought I would want to teach in a college of education program, kind of in the clinical practitioner side.
Hmm.
Nothing against the research. I want everybody else to do the research, and I will implement the research, all the good
Right.
research that all of the professors and researchers and publishers do. But I want to keep my hands dirty with basically the work. And so that was really probably a very long answer to say that that is how I kind of landed. I kind of let go of the grading
Hmm.
desires. And by semester two, I really had committed to the idea of teacher retention.
Teacher retention.
And
Yeah.
I didn't want to waste time.
Okay.
I didn't want to waste time if every semester we were going to have tasks and do work and get feedback on our work that could build into something usable for our dissertation. Even though that maybe that was going to happen in year four, I didn't want
Hmm.
to waste time in years one and two, uh, not contributing to it in some way. I didn't want to get to year four and be like, okay, where do I begin now? And I just really tried to keep focused. Now there were, and maybe we'll talk about this, but there were definitely, and I can remember I think it was Dr. Teague talking about topic fatigue and wanting to never want to hear the words teacher retention again.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to divorce my topic many times and just, but I also think it's just the nature of what we do. I'm such a curious person that, just like I was talking about with my husband and I, like if we see something, like I want to know more about it. I want to figure it out more. I want to
Right.
understand
You're
more. So
curious, yeah.
now I wish I was a long-term researcher because there is so much that I still want to. I just want to
Explore.
approach everything. I'm just
Yeah.
always such a curious person. So I landed on my topic, and if I could give advice, it would be to use as much of the work that you can do along the way, because I definitely use many of the articles that I got early on, definitely many of the skills that I got early on in the
Mhm.
program came together. I probably didn't realize it as much at the time, but it all kind of culminated and came together into what became my dissertation.
I like that approach. Like, if you know your topic, not in the beginning, but still maybe around second year,
Mhm.
if you know the broader area, then in different classes you can start, working around that topic,
Mhm.
whatever assignment you are doing. So, sort of having some, you prepare the ground for your dissertation,
Yeah.
rather than in year three, you say you choose a topic which is completely different than what you may have done in the
Right.
first 2 years.
I think I knew that I did not want to get to year 3 and start from ground zero.
Hmm.
I think even if I didn't love my topic anymore, I still would have just
Yeah,
kept
let's
going.
get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been, and I have had a few of my cohort mates that deviated enough where it felt like that maybe felt like they were starting
Hmm.
over again, and I just didn't
Yeah.
have that in me. I
I also feel like certain sense of openness is also important because sometimes I see student like first year and they're saying, I want to study this.
Mhm.
And as if like they have just put blinkers, like,
Mhm.
and not looking right or left. I think that limits your the other possibilities which might be. So I think it's good to have an area of interest, but also at the same time keeping your mind open
Mhm.
about maybe I can tweak it in this way, or maybe I can change directions here based on what I'm learning, based on what every semester you learn new things.
Mhm.
So I think a combination of both is good in that context.